It's the last court on the ballot. Make sure you make it all the way to the bottom. Last but not least, best for last, however you want to remember it. But my name is Veronica Vasquez, and I'm running for Bexar County Probate Court number 2. If you don't know anything about the probate courts, I often get the question, what is it? Is it probation? It has nothing to do with probation. What it has to do with, it affects every single life in this county. So I say it's the most important court, and I don't want to offend any of the judges that are here, but it touches every single life in the county, right? Because we all die. So you are going to have a loved one or someone you know, or maybe your estate that's going to end up in front of probate court. So it really matters whoever you choose is a compassionate judge, right? Because you're coming, not only does it have jurisdiction over probating of wills and estates, so you die with a will, you die without a will, it's going to go through the probate court. But it also has jurisdiction over the mental health docket, which is huge. So involuntary commitments. So somebody's threatening to hurt themselves, they're threatening to hurt someone else, perhaps they're not bathing, doing whatever it may be, and they have to be involuntarily committed, it goes before this court as well. So one of the other things that it has jurisdiction over, and what I do a lot of, is I represent parents of disabled children. Once they turn 18, they have to get a guardianship over their loved one because their loved one can't make decisions for themselves, but the law sees them as having the same capacity as you or I. So I do a lot of that. And the last thing that's kind of random and out there is eminent domain. I assume that it's put under the probate courts because it has a lot to do with property, and probate and property go hand in hand. So a little bit about me. I'm originally from Houston. All of us are not from San Antonio. We got here as fast as we could, right? But I'm originally from Houston. I attended the University of Texas undergrad, University of Texas Law School. My last semester at UT undergrad, I interned at the Texas Civil Rights Project. That made a lasting impact on me. I saw the injustices that were happening throughout the state, and I decided at that moment I wanted to do something about it, and I wanted to become a lawyer. So because of that, had not studied for the LSAT yet, and I wanted to work a couple years. So I took a couple years. I worked, graduated, and it was 2002 from undergrad. There was no jobs to be had for people that were coming out of entry, kind of like similar today. And so I was a waitress. I worked part-time as a waitress at Papacitos. I also I was an event planner until I found a full-time job. I'm a hustler. So I got an opportunity to work with the city councilwoman in Houston. And that's my hometown. So I moved back to Houston. I worked for a city councilwoman, and then I worked for a state senator, Senator John Whitmire, the chair of the dean of the Texas Senate. So I worked for him for about a year before I was accepted into the University of Texas Law School. So I went to UT Law, met my husband there, and then when we graduated, we moved to New York for a year for him to get his LLM in tax. I interned at New York Legal Assistance Groups. I helped the poor throughout New York with wills, powers of attorneys, probating, all of those things. I assisted an attorney doing that. Moved back to Texas, got a job offer at a tax firm, an ad valorem tax firm, property tax firm. Became an equity partner within 4 years, which is unheard of if you know anything about the laws. Became an equity partner within 4 years, but then decided at that point in time I wanted to open my own practice. I wanted to go back into the area of elder law and probate. So I went back into that area, had my own practice, and then I was offered a position with Catholic Charities. So I was with Catholic Charities for 4 months before I was promoted to the director of the Guardianship and Probate Department. So I've been with Catholic Charities for the past couple of years, and up until recently, in August, I went part-time because now I'm campaigning, but I represent the indigent and the poor and the everyday working man that comes before that court. The majority of the people that come before probate court are going to be like you and I, the everyday working person. They're not ultra rich, right? Because those people have trusts set up, they have other things set up where they avoid probate court. So it's the people that I serve. And the difference between myself and my opponent is I go to court, not just in Bexar County, but in the 19 surrounding counties. So under the Archdiocese. So I know what it's like, the best practices. I understand how a client, this is the worst time of their life. They just lost a loved one. Maybe someone's being committed. Maybe their child is disabled. You have to walk them through that. And you have to be a compassionate judge that listens to all sides. And so that's the difference between myself, my opponent. I actually practice in the court. So I ask you humbly for your support and your vote. And I want to say thank you, Permissa PAC, and thank you so much for hosting us. So please make it all the way down to the ballot. Yeah, all the way down. Last one. So